You're back on the air with the Restaurant Brokers, where we satisfy your appetite for acquisition, feed the need for restaurant reality, and serve up a recipe for business success. Today, we're joined by Joe Calpanaro, the Editor-in-Chief of Foodservice Equipment and Supplies, and Nick Giaffu from Olympic Store Fixtures. Guys, thank you so much for your help today as we talk about different things affecting the industry, and I think Eric wants to weigh in first.
Yes, I'd like to address the financial picture of this. Everybody, in the industry always talk about money. We talk a little bit about this in our first segments, but numbers are big for everybody. So what can the listeners expect to pay today to outfit a basic kitchen? Sorry, not a tricked out, not fine dining or the state of the art, but I mean a good solid basic kitchen here. Nick, what do you think roughly we're looking at cost? Let's say for an Italian restaurant with pizza oven and stuff like that.
So, I could give you a direct answer there. If you're talking about something roughly around 2,500 to 2,800 square feet, you're probably looking somewhere in the vicinity of about $350,000 to $400,000 in a full restaurant equipped, starting from scratch. Of course, that can vary with the real estate spend.
Now, you talk about furniture, fixture and equipment, tables, plate, chairs, kitchen equipment. Is that what we're talking about?
Start up with fully furnished restaurants made up by refrigerated, non-refrigerated storage, prep, holding, cooking, HVAC, serving, indoor and outdoor seating, delivery systems, POS, sound systems, and finally the OS&E.
Yeah, I think people are probably driving off their road listening to that estimate right now. But, it is an investment in your future when you start with a restaurant. And I think that probably is a number that we would hear mirrored by a number of people in the industry. Joe, I want to follow up with you just in terms of general trends that you're seeing in the industry. In fact, I read a recent article in your magazine that was talking about designing a new type of kitchen, designing for central and shared kitchens, because the food truck boom has really made us change the way we're looking at kitchens, and they're not for like a single operator use anymore. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, shared kitchens or central kitchens are really becoming a big thing, and it's happening on two different fronts. One is with the food truck. The food truck boom has allowed a lot of smaller players that aren't as well capitalized to kind of get to pursue their passions about food and service. And what they're doing, as opposed to having a traditional bricks and mortar place, they're finding a few places where they can go rent some time, make their pizza sauce or cook their meat or whatever they need to do to get ready to go out and serve people once they're out on the street. The other trend I think that we're seeing in terms of central kitchens is that as school food service laws are coming in and even multi-concept restaurants are doing this, I think a little bit more. We're seeing more commissary or central kitchens come back. So you have places that are doing a little bit more cook chill where they're making pizza sauce or spaghetti sauce for 5 or 6 different restaurants that might be part of the same company, and then you're just tweaking it when you get there. So you're seeing a lot more cook chill kind of stuff for those larger applications. And for the other one, for the ones that are supporting food trucks, you're seeing more, there's ranges, there's oven, 6 to 8 burner ranges, convection ovens, that sort of thing to help and a lot of workspace for people so they can prep and assemble what they need to do before they hit the streets.
Great.
Nick, have you guys worked on any of this kind of concept recently?
Yeah, we've actually started a couple of food trucks probably about 3 years back when the concept started booming in Chicago. Definitely, there was a mac and cheese truck. There's a cupcake truck. Nowadays we're starting to build these trucks that are basically fully furnished and kind of roll and play and starting to cook in a situation where they can pull up to a building, whether it be a manufacturer company or an office building, and actually serve out of that. Definitely has been a big boom in Chicago as well with that. But our kitchens are so developed in Chicago. Our restaurateurs, our chefs they're so boutique that we have an array of types of restaurants that we go after. So it's very hard to pinpoint on one trend. I think Chicago has just been rated as a 5-diamond 5-star with New York, and our chefs here and our restaurateurs are very savvy. So they definitely challenge us and push us to the next level.
Joe, let me ask you this. We walked the NRA show last May. We were just floored by all the new equipment in the marketplace. And you've talked about some of these trends today, but can you zero in on the top 2 or 3? Is it this idea of moving towards automation to reduce headcount, or energy efficient design, or equipment that's cooking at higher rates? What do you see as the big ideas?
Definitely local procurement, the farm-to-table stuff, a lot of fresh, not frozen, stored for any length of time. Bars and restaurants serving craft cocktails, the rebirth of American bourbons and whiskeys, of course, the big gorilla in the room, craft beers and micro distilleries. I mean, you can't go after that. I mean, that's what we're seeing in today's trend as far as the restaurateur goes. Yeah, and then, like I said before, a lot of live fuel. Wood-burning ovens, chipwood grills, log broilers, wheel grills, main focus of companies like Jade Range, Robata-style grills. I mean, guys that use really real wood charcoal, like White Oak Bean Cho. We spoke about him earlier. Chef Gene Cato from Sumi Robata Bars taught me that. There's also that unique Spanish-style charcoal broiler oven made by Woodstone. It's called the Jasper. It's all the craze lately. All my trendsetter chefs are using it, so it's interesting where the average restaurant today is not what it used to be.
And Joe, would you like to chime in on this as well?
Absolutely. I think one of the key things that we're seeing is there isn't designers now, when they're putting restaurants together, there isn't the traditional line between back of the house and front of the house anymore. Now they're kind of designing for what they call middle of the house, where you're seeing a lot more, where you're seeing more of the preparation and more of the display cooking. You're seeing, chains like White Castle, I think, are really getting involved with that now. They redesigned their kitchen and their new prototypes that they're getting ready to roll out, where you can really see more of what they were doing. So I think we have to stop thinking in terms of just front and back of the house anymore. Now you kind of have that blended area, that middle of the house that people are looking at. I think energy efficiency is something that is a nice to have, but it's not a have to have. We talk a lot about it, and I think anything that operators can do to lower energy and to lower weight and to lower labor costs is really important to them, but their most important goal when they're purchasing a piece of equipment remains, can it deliver the product the way I want, and can it keep up with what I need, in terms of the number of turns and the number of people. I
think we're going to have to leave it right there, but that's an excellent note to end on, because today we've been talking about equipment, and I don't think there could be a more concise sort of wrap-up of this discussion in terms of pointing people in the right direction. This is Eric and Robin Gagnon, the restaurant brokers. We've been talking to experts in the food service industry. Have you missed our full show? Download us on iTunes or watch the video on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/We Sell Restaurants. This is Eric and Robin Gagnon. We'll be back with Restaurant Reality right after the break.